Our education system is broken. Public schools no longer focus on teaching our children reading, writing, arithmetic, and unadulterated world history. But instead, the focus has been on teaching them about social injustices and inequality, homophobia and transphobia, all of which casually reduces our children's desires for knowledge and the freedom to think and act for themselves. As the new school year approaches, we need to prepare. But preparing for school is about more than just buying new clothes, shoes, and the necessary supplies. We need to be prepared to oppose the woke ideology that has infiltrated classrooms across the country. And for parents who have no choice but to send their children to public schools, as well as some private schools, we need practical tools to help protect our children from gender ideology, inappropriate sexual content, and critical race theory. From a former teacher, this is how our children are being indoctrinated, teaching that America and the West are evil, suppression of wrong think, tearing down statues of the Founding Fathers, and a possible future American public that thinks the country shouldn't exist. The GABC's book is celebrated and the suggested reading age is 4 to 8, while Dr. Seuss books are criticized. Public schools' CV response is just one example of their priorities. Another is the woke material that has taken over public school curricula, from the ahistorical 1619 Project to trans student educational resources like the Gender Unicorn. School textbooks have changed for all grades in some states. In Washington, D.C., kindergarten social studies textbooks are revised to outline understanding of racial, ethnic, religious, and gender identities, as well as family structures, including LGBTQ. Almost 6,000 schools nationwide have rules preventing faculty and staff from disclosing a student's gender status to their parents without the student's permission. A Massachusetts student was told to change his shirt, which said, "There are only 2 genders," or to be sent home because staff reported the shirt to target a protected class, and it made some students feel unsafe. In New Jersey, public schools are now gender neutral. But across the country, there's been a rise in calls to remove books, particularly those dealing with race and gender, from schools over concerns about indoctrinating students with woke ideologies. And now that we've seen how demoralized the system has become with the age-inappropriate lessons, philosophies, and lies they're teaching our children in the classrooms, we need to do something about it. Research the school website, go to the school meetings, be involved as much as you can, and especially talk to your children. Here are 8 ways we as parents can inform and protect our children from this woke agenda. Be their role model. People can tell who you are by the way you conduct yourself. Sadly, it can be hard to trust people. Even those we confide in to teach and look after our children may not be who they seem to be. We need to show our children what to look out for and how to discern when they're being deceived. In today's culture, this is more important than ever before. Teach them the truth. It's crucial to teach our children the truth when they're at home, so that when they are exposed to anything other than what was taught, they can recognize it as false. As their parents, we must take this call seriously and guide them in the truth. Without a doubt, the Declaration of Independence was a political document, but it is important to remember that the Bible had a significant impact on the ideas expressed in the Declaration, providing the sentiment of freedom. President Andrew Jackson is quoted as saying, "That book, the Bible, sir, is the rock on which our republic rests." Instill a love of God in them. Our objective as parents is to raise our children to love God with all their hearts, souls, and minds, and to prepare them to leave the home as fully functional adults who can take care of themselves and contribute positively to society. The heart impacts the soul, and the soul impacts the mind. Our heart is where this process starts, and everything we do flows from there. As the love of God passes from our souls and reaches our minds, it will ultimately influence the way we live. Discuss alternative beliefs and points of view. Parenting is challenging, especially as our children become more independent and form their own opinions. We have to be willing to talk to them about different perspectives and new concepts. President Benjamin Harrison was quoted as saying, "If you take out of your statutes, your constitution, your family life, all that is taken from the sacred book, what would there be left to bind society together? Protect them from unsafe environments. The world today is not favorable for raising children. They are exposed to much more graphic and mature things than in past decades. Overprotecting them is not a great idea, but we should be mindful of who, what, and where they are investing their time. Tell them about the lies and deception of the woke worldview. Sadly, the wokeism that is being promoted in today's culture is in direct opposition to a healthy interpretation and view of life. Our children are more susceptible to the deceptions of this woke worldview if we don't expose it and help them understand the true morals and values on which our country was founded. President Thomas Jefferson said, "God who gave us life gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are the gift of God? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever." Teach them biblical principles. The Bible was a strong influence in early America, and there is a reason why the Ten Commandments, verses from the Bible, and artwork with biblical subjects are displayed in the Supreme Court, the U.S. Capitol, and other federal structures. Early American presidents had a profound faith in God and the Bible. President John Quincy Adams was quoted as saying, "So great is my veneration for the Bible, that the earlier my children begin to read it, the more confident will be my hope that they will prove useful citizens of their country and respectable members of society." Talk with and listen to them. As parents, we are the main source of guidance and discipline for our children, and the best way to do that is to discuss the hard things in life. Ask them about their thoughts and help them make sense of any confusing areas. Talk to them about their identities, who they are, and what it means. Talk to them about their emotions. They need to understand that emotions and feelings change, but the truth doesn't. Truly listen to them and help them separate emotions from truth. Discuss the importance of our actions and that what we do matters. Talk to them about being accountable and that we expect to know what's going on in their lives. President Ulysses S. Grant has said, "Hold fast to the Bible as the sheet anchor of your liberties. Write its precepts in your hearts and practice them in your lives. To the influence of this book are we indebted for all the progress made in true civilization, and to this we must look as our guide in the future. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people." We should encourage our children to develop their own belief systems and help them think critically about the world around them. Additionally, we must lead by example in how we interact with the outside world. Our children are entrusted to us for a short time, and we have a moral obligation to raise them upright. Our future depends on it. And President Harry S. Truman said, "The fundamental basis of this nation's laws was given to Moses on the Mount. The fundamental basis of our Bill of Rights comes from the teachings we get from Exodus and St. Matthew, from Isaiah and St. Paul." I don't think we emphasize that enough these days. If we don't have a proper fundamental moral background, we will finally end up with a totalitarian government which does not believe in rights for anybody except the state.